Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds.
Tonight is really about igniting ideas, having fun with the passions that people have. And so it's just a pleasure to have you all here. It's a pleasure to announce our first speaker, who has had a little wine already. And he said his favorite drink is wine, so he was congruent when he came up here. But I'd like to introduce and start this off with a nice round of applause for Amir, who's our first speaker tonight.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Amir, and I'm here to talk to you today about something very, very important, money. But not the fun part of money. I'm here to talk to you today about debt. More specifically, I'm going to talk to you about student loans. Debt, in general, creates fear. People are afraid of having debt. They don't want debt, and they'll go to very, very great lengths to avoid having any kind of debt. And for the American college graduates today, you actually have this great big burden on your back. It's impossible to really start a family, get a mortgage, get a house, and advance your lives because of this student debt weighing you down. It's tough. But in reality, that's not the worst part. The worst part isn't having that debt on your shoulders. It's just that they won't let you forget. So what happens is, depending on your calendar, the first of the month, end of the month, middle of the month, you're going to get this little thing in the mail, and it's going to remind you that you have debt. It's called a bill. And you're going to have to send in money to pay down this debt. This example isn't fair because there should be some more digits. So I'm going to run through an example with probably more realistic numbers. I would assume, and based on some numbers, that the average student loan payment is going to be, let's say, $1,000 a month. I think it's a fair number. So you figure you're paying $1,000 a month for the term of the loan for your student debt. It's 12 months in a year. So let's do some quick math on that. So $1,000 a month, 12 months in a year. Every single year to get out of debt, you're paying $12,000. That means is, for the average student loan being 10 years long, you've paid $120,000 to get out of debt. So I'm going to illustrate that a little bit further. Let's put two T's on the screen. But remember that this is about finance, not really too much about English. So we're going to scrap the T's. Instead of the T's, think of these as balance sheets. Every single human being, every individual, every business, everything has a balance sheet. So you have your assets on the left of the screen, of the cross, of the T, and your liabilities are on the right. Your assets is what you have, your liabilities is what you owe. So to take it a step further, let's make these two people. I have Jack and Jill. Jack's on the left, Jill's on the right. And they both have the exact same financial situation. Just graduated college, they don't have any savings, but they both have 120 grand in debt. So what they're doing is they're paying $1,000 a month to get rid of the debt for 10 years. But instead, they're going to pay $2,000 a month. So I'm going to illustrate what that does, because that's what happens. So Jack on the left, he wants to get rid of his debt. If you notice, his net worth exists, so does Jill's. Assets minus liabilities, they're both worth a negative $120,000. What Jack is going to do is going to pay $2,000 a month instead of $1,000. So 5 years later, what he's done is something really, really great. He's eliminated his debt by doubling his payment. And when you calculate it, his net worth is going to be 0 minus 0 to a resounding net worth of 0, which is probably a lot of people in the room. Jill is also paying $2,000 a month. But she split it up a little bit. She didn't just focus on getting out of debt. She saved a little bit too, using the exact same $2,000 a month. So $1,000 in assets and savings and a coffee can, let's call it, and $1,000 a month in getting rid of the debt. So at the end of 5 years, what Jill has is $60,000 in savings and $60,000 left in debt. So if we calculate out her net worth again, she's going to have 60 minus 60, which again is a resounding 0 in net worth. So both of them are worthless. So Jack and Jill, they're actually in the exact same situation. But Jill has savings. So if Jack lost his job, He still has to pay that bill, but he can't dip into anything. But Jill can. In fact, at any point in time, she could take a lump sum payment and get rid of debt. So the point I'm trying to make is that both of these things are exactly the same mathematically, but Jill has the ability to get out of debt, but not the obligation. If you fast forward another 5 years, 10 years total, and they're doing the same $2,000 a month, Jack has 120 grand in savings, no debt. Jill has 120 grand in savings, no debt. But Jack focused on one, then the other. Jill did both at the same time. So the best thing you can do is to balance your balance sheets and focus on increasing everything in your net worth together.
So, Ignite's a little different. We could do whatever we want. So how quickly are you going to get the wine now?
Right now.
Give him another round of applause. Give your stuff.